Please leave. I warned you over the phone that if you dare to reprimand my daughter again, you'll have to leave. You ignored my warning, so kindly get out. That's absurd, I retort, shocked by Emily's unreasonable demand, at a loss for words. Seeing me silent, Emily continues her tirade. You're just my brother's wife, an outsider. Stop pretending to be part of our family. Hearing these words from Emily shatters something inside me. I had endured her verbal abuse and her daughter Olivia's selfishness, thinking they were family. But now, all the things I did with their interests at heart have been entirely negated. I have no reason to respect Emily and Olivia anymore. All right, I'll leave, I reply calmly and start packing. Emily and Olivia laugh heartily at my situation, but they won't be laughing for long. I think this as I gather my belongings. My name is Chloe. I live with my husband Ethan and his parents. Ethan had requested from the time he proposed that we live with his parents once we were married. At first, I hesitated, but when I met Ethan's parents, I realized they were decent folks who respected boundaries. Convinced that life with them would be manageable, I accepted Ethan's proposal. Once we moved in together, my mother-in-law took over all the housework while I worked outside. In turn, I took over the chores when I was at home. We divided the work in the house, and everything went smoothly. However, the visits from Ethan's sister, Emily, were always distressing. Emily has a daughter, Olivia. They frequently visited us, and each time Emily would take jabs at me relentlessly. Chloe, can I get a cup of tea? I'm so tired from my part-time job and raising my child. You must be relaxed on your days off at home. I'm so jealous. Well, I also work when I'm at home. Oh, the work you do at home is insignificant. I go out to work every day and have a leadership position. Don't compare yourself with me. When it was time for Olivia to find a job, Emily often came over to complain about why Olivia couldn't find one. Olivia is excellent, just like me. The recruiters who reject her must be blind. Maybe she could broaden her job search. Whenever I tried to give advice, Emily would lash out furiously. What could you, who barely works, know? No, shut up. It seems Olivia finally landed a job after most of her classmates did. Olivia and Emily came over to report the good news to my mother-in-law. Rainey, I've got a job. Olivia proudly shows off her job offer letter to my mother-in-law, who smiles contentedly. Well done, Olivia. Yeah, I didn't expect to get into such a large company. In the end, the interviewer was kind from the start. Next to Olivia, Emily grins broadly. This company is a subsidiary of the company. I work part-time, and my name might be known even in the parent company since I've been around a while. So, I got the job, thanks to Mom, huh? It could be. The interviewer saw your name, recognized you as my daughter, and probably had a good impression. Come April, Olivia was to attend a month-long training program for new employees. The training location was only a few minutes away from the home where my in-laws and I lived. Emily, knowing this, called my mother-in-law Mom. I want Olivia to commute from your house during her training. The training place is over an hour away from our home. We have a spare room, and I don't mind at all. Let me just check with Chloe. Do you need to ask Chloe? Emily interjected. Well, but that's your house, right? Chloe is just living there. She won't complain. Thanks to Emily's insistence, I'd only found out that Olivia would be living with us for a month after everything had been decided. I was a bit puzzled, but there was no reason to oppose Olivia living there. I warmly welcomed Olivia, and our shared life began. Once the training began, Olivia was laid one out of every 3 days. Despite the training location being just a stone's throw away, it seemed that her habit of waking up at a fixed time every morning had completely disappeared due to her relaxed student life. Grandma, why didn't you wake me up? I called you many times. If I don't make it in time, calling me doesn't mean anything. Forget it. I'm taking the morning off today. Please call the company and tell them I'm taking half a day off due to poor health. Olivia, you're an adult now. You should be doing such things yourself. If I say I'm too sick to even make a phone call, it'll be more believable. Just do as I say. Taking advantage of my mother-in-law's soft spot for her granddaughter, Olivia had become completely spoiled. Even when she came home from training, Olivia wouldn't do anything for herself. Grandma, I'm tired. Is dinner ready? Welcome back, Olivia. I'm about to make it. What? You're just starting now. Why didn't you have it ready by the time I got home? When I got home, tired and hungry, I wanted to eat right away. You're so thoughtless, I muttered, addressing my mother-in-law. I'm sorry, I'll have it ready soon, she responded. Seeing my mother-in-law being pushed around by Olivia, who was probably tired from her first job, I couldn't stand it any longer, and I spoke up. Listen, Olivia, having a warm meal waiting for you when you come home isn't something to be taken for granted. Why don't you show some appreciation to Grandma? Why do I have to listen to you, Chloe? You're not even family. Stay out of it, Olivia retorted. Not family? I married Ethan, so I am part of your family, Olivia, I replied. Mom said Chloe is my brother's wife, so she's an outsider, Olivia countered. Then let me tell you, as a senior member of the workforce, Olivia, that you should take more responsibility for yourself. Waking up on time to avoid being late is a basic rule of being an adult, a senior in the workforce, I said firmly. You're not even going to work every day. Wait till you're actually working hard like me or Mom before you start acting all high and mighty, Olivia shot back, seemingly ignoring my words. Then one day, when I returned home from work, I could hear Olivia's loud voice coming from the living room. What do you mean you're going out? It's unacceptable that there's no dinner when I come home exhausted. I'm sorry, but we're looking forward to our theater outing that day, my mother-in-law explained. Your theater outings are just fun and games, Olivia retorted. I have work. You need to cancel it. Apparently, my in-laws had informed Olivia that they were going to the theater next week and wouldn't be able to cook dinner, and this had infuriated her. I was well aware that my mother-in-law had been looking forward to this day at the theater for quite some time. However, I was worried that if things kept going this way, they might feel compelled to cancel their plans to avoid upsetting Olivia. So, I hurriedly proposed a solution. Since you've been looking forward to this, you should go. I'll take care of Olivia's dinner that day, I suggested. My in-laws seemed thrilled by my suggestion, but they quickly began to worry. But isn't that a work day for you, Chloe? Are you sure it'll be all right? They asked. Yes, if I arrange things now, I think I can get home early. So don't worry and have a good time, I reassured them. On the day of the theater outing, I left work early to come home. My in-laws happily left for their event. After seeing them off, I did some shopping for dinner and waited for Olivia's return. As always, as soon as Olivia came home, she lay down on the couch and waited for dinner. Oh, I'm hungry, Chloe. Hurry up and get cooking, she demanded. Olivia, let's cook together today, I suggested. At my words, Olivia jumped up from the couch. What? What do I have to do? Isn't it natural to cook your own food? No way. I've been at work. I'm not doing housework when I'm tired, she protested. I've been working too. I've got the ingredients. Can't you just help me out? I asked. You, Flo, can come home whenever you want from your easy job, and me, who has to go at a set time every day, are not the same. Just hurry it up and make it by yourself, Olivia snapped. The fact that I was able to come home early that day was a result of painstakingly adjusting my work schedule, but I doubted that Olivia would understand that. So allowing my anger, I calmly tried to reason with her. Listen, Olivia, I'm not asking you to help me because I find it bothersome to cook alone. I want you to understand what it means to be a responsible adult. What I don't need is your interference. After letting the grandparents go out without asking me, you're giving me a lecture, which is super annoying, Olivia declared, visibly irritated. She stood up and started dialing on her phone. Mom, listen to this. Chloe keeps nagging me, and she won't even cook dinner. She unloaded her complaints about me to her mother, Emily. Once she had said her piece, she handed me the phone with a triumphant smile. Mom wants to talk to you, Chloe. As I took the phone, Emily shouted angrily, Listen here. Who do you think you were talking to my daughter like that? As my son's wife, if you continue to cause problems for my daughter, I'm going to ask you to leave that house. It's not about causing problems. All I wanted to do was impart some sense of responsibility to Olivia as a working adult, I defended. So, you're trying to lecture on being a responsible adult, Chloe. You're not even a full-time employee. How can someone who is hardly needed by the company afford to be so cocky? Emily retorted. How can you say I'm not needed, Emily? When you've been around as long as I have, you can tell at a glance who's capable and who's not. I've made sure to see off many a dead weight, I countered. Without a second thought, Emily added, "Just go and prepare dinner for my daughter," and hung up the phone. Olivia, sitting next to me, smirked as she looked my way. "You better not oppose my mom, Chloe. There's no one at work who can even admonish her, so get to making dinner already." With that, she sprawled lazily on the couch again. This mother and daughter pair, there's no reasoning with them. Left with no choice, I sighed and headed to the kitchen to prepare dinner. As I began to prepare the meal, Olivia nibbled on the food I had prepared and complained under her breath. Once she finished eating, she abandoned her dishes and headed back to the couch to watch TV without so much as a thank you. "Hey, Olivia, at least clean up after yourself." I tried to remind her, but all I got was a bored look from her. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, and to my surprise, it was Emily. "Why are you here?" I asked. To my surprise, Emily casually replied, "It seemed like you didn't quite get the message over the phone, Chloe, so I thought I'd come over and tell you directly." Excitedly, Olivia reported to her mother, "Mom, listen. Just after you warned her over the phone, Chloe started lecturing me again." Hearing Olivia's words, Emily glared at me. "Looks like it was the right decision to come here after all. You're still complaining to my daughter even after everything I said." I had backed off on the phone, but I couldn't let this go for Olivia's sake. I had to say something. "It's not a complaint. I'm merely teaching her the basic manners of cleaning up after herself, something even a grade schooler should understand." Emily snapped at me. "There's no need for someone like you to be telling us about manners. Have you considered your own situation before lecturing about manners?" "What about my situation? You and Ethan can barely afford a house even with both your salaries combined. You're just leeching off this household. Why don't you change your own attitude before teaching my daughter about being a responsible adult?" "I'm not here to leech off you. As proof, I make sure to pay my fair share of the rent and living expenses every month," I retorted. "Well, it doesn't matter either way. You're going to leave this place." "Leave?" Emily declared. "I told you on the phone, if you continue to berate my daughter, you'll need to move out." "You ignored my warning, so now it's time for you to go," Emily declared. "That's absurd," I retorted, at a loss for words at the sheer injustice of it all. Seeing me unable to retaliate, Emily continued, "You're still an outsider, even if you were my brother's wife. Stop acting like you're part of the family." Her words hit me hard, and something inside me crumbled. I had put up with Emily's insults and Olivia's selfishness because I thought of them as family. I had been rejected by them despite doing everything with their best interests at heart. There was no reason left for me to restrain myself with Emily and Olivia anymore. "All right, I'll leave," I said quietly, beginning to pack my things. At the sight of me, Emily and Olivia started to crack up. Ignoring their laughter, I continued to pack. When my in-laws returned home, my mother-in-law's face shifted as she took in the scene. "Oh, is that you, Emily? Chloe, what's with the luggage?" she asked. Before I could answer, Emily chimed in. "Chloe has been lecturing Olivia while she can't even do her own job. She's become such a nuisance. We've decided to send her packing." "What?" My mother-in-law's face drained of color. "Apologize at once, and you too, Olivia." "Why should I apologize to Chloe? If she wants to be part of our family, she should ask us." "Maybe then we'll consider it," Emily replied, backed up by a firm nod from Olivia. My mother-in-law sighed deeply. "You too. It's over for you." "What? What are you talking about?" "The one who's done is Chloe, right? She's the one being cut off from our family," Emily retorted, leaving my mother-in-law shaking. "Do you even realize who made it possible for Olivia to get her job? That's me, the part-time manager." Emily tried to puff herself up, but my mother-in-law interrupted her. "No, it's not like that at all. It's because Chloe, who's an executive at the corporate office, recommended her to human resources." "Well, that's a lie. Chloe barely does anything. She's home half the week," Emily countered. Facing the confrontational Emily, I revealed the truth. "I often attend executive meetings online, so I work from home." "Then did Chloe really get Olivia her job?" my mother-in-law asked. "I really wanted Olivia to find a job on her own, but she begged me for help." "Why didn't you say anything?" Emily turned pale, realizing the truth. "I wanted Olivia to start at the same place as everyone else, to work without any advantages. It was better for her not to know that I was an executive at her company," I explained. "So, did Mom and Dad know this from the beginning?" Olivia asked. "I had asked your parents to keep my position a secret." Emily, since you always assumed I was incompetent, you never showed interest in my work, so there was no need to tell you. So, you're telling me I've been disrespecting an executive at my own company this whole time? Olivia went pale. That's right, thanks to my concealed identity. I got to learn a lot about how new employees like to fake illness and such, Olivia pleaded desperately. Please, please don't tell anyone about this, she added, desperation evident in her voice. Coldly, I replied, you know, I thought I'd let it slide because it's a family matter. But it seems I'm not considered family to you too, so I can't stay quiet if it's something that will harm the company. But I will be assigned after the training. Exactly, Olivia. You're lacking awareness as a working professional. Moreover, you're not willing to accept others' opinions. We can't let you interact with customers with this attitude, I continued. In her panic, Emily clung to me. I'll take back what I've said. Olivia is Chloe's adorable niece. Don't report anything that would harm her situation, Emily, she pleaded. Don't you think you should worry about your own role? What about your part-time team's high turnover rate? It has been repeatedly brought up in the parent company's meetings. If it comes to light that you, as the manager, are forcing part-time employees to quit, it's going to be a big problem, I pointed out. Emily's face tightened as she remembered her own words. Wait, that's a misunderstanding. I was just guiding the unproductive part-timers, and then they quit on their own. I'm not responsible for this, she protested. Well, that can be investigated. We have a meeting next week with your company's board members. We'll report this and have it thoroughly examined, I informed her. No way. My hard-earned managerial position, Emily trailed off. Afterward, I decided not to leave the house after being persuaded by my mother-in-law, but I did report Olivia and Emily to the company. Olivia ended up attending a training center in the mountains for retraining for 6 months, while her peers were assigned positions one after another. It seems she was thoroughly drilled on the basics of being a professional, I recounted. Emily's workplace underwent an audit at my direction with complaints from other employees and testimonies from those she had forced to resign. It was found that Emily was using her position of authority to cause a lot of stress to those around her. As a result, Emily was fired, I continued. Emily seems to have started a new job to cover her living expenses. However, since she's only ever worked at one place before, she's having a hard time getting the hang of her new job. Despite this, she still acts high and mighty and seems to be on the verge of getting fired from her new job as well, I added. At this rate, her life will likely continue to be difficult. On the other hand, I continue to live peacefully, sharing household chores with my in-laws as usual. This incident seemed to have taken quite a toll on my mother-in-law, I reflected. Chloe, I'm sorry because I've spoiled Olivia and Emily. I made you go through such unpleasant experiences, my mother-in-law apologized. No, it's fine. I was happy that you stood up for me, I reassured her. Having had a good talk with my in-laws, I feel that their bond is even stronger than before. Even though my sister-in-law turned out to be a challenge, I look forward to continuing to live with my mother-in-law, maintaining our good relationship, I concluded.